Discover the hidden life I found in this quiet park. Captured with the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro using the native ultra-wide camera. I won't tell you which is which, but there's a hint in the description. No additional lens attachments were used. I assembled a custom gimbal to stabilize the footage during shooting. I also enabled the onboard stabilization and further stabilized it during editing. And here is the result. Meet the zebra jumping spider. Here he is exploring a handrail of the staircase. It was difficult to capture him because of how fast he moves, but luckily he stopped for a moment to look around. He is very curious and even jumped on me a few times. The resting break didn't last long, though. He continues his high-speed journey and rushes away from the camera. Hopefully this four-spotted odorous ant is calmer. The name refers to the four distinctive light-colored spots on its brown abdomen, making it immediately recognizable. The running away insects make up the majority of my recorded footage. Luckily, there's still that 1% when they take short breaks to groom themselves. These ants are aphid farmers and usually live in trees. This one, however, seems to enjoy urban life on a stair rail instead. Right there nearby, an adult winged aphid wanted to take off but changed its mind. I assume the attempted takeoff was triggered by the approaching danger in the form of my camera. Still, it was a beautiful sight to see, so I disturbed a few more. On the same stair handrail, a cabbage seed weevil is taking a short break. It looks like he is covered in dirt. Known as a dangerous seed pod terminator, he is only 3 millimeters in size. I would say this: let him go. He's innocent. Another lucky moment. A seaweed fly grooming session. Here we can see its proboscis extension limits being tested. It cleans it so intensely that I was afraid it might rip it off accidentally. The iridescent wings of another Muscoid fly look magical. Overall, the fly is beautiful, don't you think? Am I broken? Another fly, and also beautiful, a blue blowfly. In my experience, when disturbed, most flies drop a gift as they leave. The Root-Maggot Fly leaves the same thing. Notice how the proboscis of this stable fly differs from that of the seaweed fly I showed a few flies back. Who would have thought that this moving collection of trash is a living creature? This green lacewing larva wears environmental debris like camouflage. They call it a trash bug, but I disagree. This is a very talented little guy. So small and so different looking compared to the adult I showed you in the previous video. This snail is so tiny I nearly missed it. Just look how small it is. Meet Canestrini harvestman, better known as Daddy Longlegs. For once, I agree with the nickname. Personally, I'd call it a cute operator inside a long-legged robotic vehicle. Jokes aside, it's not a spider at all, but an arachnid. Earwigs may have an ear-related name, but they don't crawl into human ears. That's just a myth. In fact, they're helpful in the garden and have struggled ever since pesticides were introduced. Despite belonging to a genus of comb-footed spiders, this Robertus spider is ground-dwelling, or handrail-dwelling in this case. These spiders are quite tiny, with body lengths of around 2 millimeters. I was actually surprised I noticed him, and now you've met him too. Compared to previous findings, this forest bug is a giant. They call this species a stink bug, but the name says more about humanity's tendency to bully other creatures left and right. Here is one of the most variable ladybird species in the world, the Asian Lady Beetle. This one has 19 large spots, while another nearby has only 2 small dots. They secrete a yellow, smelly fluid from their leg joints that tastes bad and deters predators. Somehow they didn't call it the stinky bug, right? When you see a winged ant, it means they are in their reproductive phase and ready to start a new colony by flying away from their home nests to mate with individuals from other colonies. Both males and females have wings. These are likely woodland red ants, though they are very similar to the European fire ant. Enough of the high-rise habitat. Let's also check on the ground-level dwellers. This is a door snail, and he is waiting for the bike to pass so that he can cross the sidewalk safely. This next clip I edited in reverse to give the impression that the weevil is desperate for screen time, rather than me harassing him by invading his private space. Meet Lepyrus capucinus, the true weevil beetle. Here you can see him resting as he makes his way to the next tasty bush in the park. What an adorable little gentleman. Hey, you! Do you like surprises? Come here real quick. I'll show you something. Behind this bush, meet the ground crab spider. Now he freezes in defensive mode, front legs raised to appear bigger. But when I stand up, he suddenly looks super small instead. I am not sure if this is a crime scene or simply the harvesting of an already deceased bee, but it seems like this common European yellowjacket wasp needs to sharpen her mandibles. She is hurrying to cut the bee's wings off its thorax, but her worn-down mandibles make it difficult. Eventually, she succeeds and swiftly flies away. This tiny springtail just burped a blob of saliva into its palm and rubbed it all over its body to clean itself. After that, it slurped the blob back up. I'm writing down such a handy trick to use myself. Now it's walking on the edge of a pavement brick. Look how small it is, completely invisible from a standing position. I assume Velcro technology was stolen from this flower seed lying here so beautifully. This rich garden fence is just moss growing in between the bricks. A Sphenophoros striatopunctatus weevil is standing nearby. And snail. A bush snail. More snails. A Roman snail, to be specific. This dark part at the tip of his tongue is called the radula, and it has many tiny teeth resembling coarse sandpaper, which are used to scrape food in a licking-like motion. Look at the difference in size between the snail and the baby Pill Woodlouse. It is always in such a hurry that I can barely keep it in frame. And here is the adult woodlouse, still on the run. Did you know they are land-dwelling relatives of crabs, not insects? Yep, crazy bananas. They're crustaceans. Who would have thought? And this red velvet mite is also not an insect. It's an arachnid, closely related to spiders and scorpions, distinguished by having 8 legs as an adult, whereas insects have 6. What? You didn't know that spiders aren't insects either? The more you know. Anyway, the velvet mite is a harmless little guy that helps with natural pest control in nature. Look at this tiny red dot from afar. This root fly enjoyed a nice sunny day, then suddenly sensed delicious food nearby. Acting fast rewarded the effort, a tasty lunch shared with a welcoming red ant. Notice an interesting detail on the rear left leg. Not just collected pollen, but a tiny fly right there. Why is a tiny fly parked on a bee parked on the pavement? Too many unsolved mysteries remain.
You're filming a video. I'm busy with my own stuff to do. The violet leaf beetle really has to go, fellas. A playful flesh fly teases me with just small enough jumps, hoping to lure me into a trap. But I'm cautious enough not to bite, and I left it there as is, just in case. You're looking at the silk thread emerging from the rear of a raft spider. A swift camera shift reveals its tiny legs. These spiders are semi-aquatic and, in case of predatory danger, can dive underwater for several minutes. But what is he doing on the pavement? Good question. Maybe I misidentified him, but there is a river nearby, so